I think after following the antics of SSSniperWolf over the years, I've always had a premonition that she was mentally unhinged. And if you paid any attention to how she reacts to people who inconvenience her, or God forbid, criticize her over the internet, you wouldn't really need hindsight to see something like this coming. Her most recent internet adversary, as everyone knows, is Jax Films, and the way she reacted to his internet criticism was surprisingly well-warranted and rational of her, considering her past history. I mean, she only drove for hours alone at nighttime from Las Vegas to Los Angeles to confront Jax Films at his doorstep, and then live-streamed his address to her 6 million followers. I guess in her mind, this was the best way she could possibly respond to the dozens of videos Jax Films has made about her, satirizing her terrible reaction content on his second channel, and calling her out for stealing thousands of TikToks and not giving any exposure or revenue to the original creators.
Don't create, steal. Why make content when you can curate it? What's the point in writing music, or animating, or perfecting your craft when you can just upload someone else's hard work and say,
"This is nuts. Like, I cannot even believe what I'm seeing right now."
Me neither.
I guess this wouldn't be the first time she was caught stealing, as she has a previous criminal record of being charged with armed robbery with her husband as an accomplice. But that's none of my business. This isn't the first example of her engaging in content theft. For most of her channel's history, all of her videos were actually managed by her husband as part of a joint business operation, where she would be the face of the channel, and the husband would write and edit the videos. And this all started with her making Call of Duty gaming videos where she would pretend to be playing the game, but was actually reacting to pre-recorded footage made by her husband. The channel's content formula would change over time, but the management remained the same. The husband was the virtual backbone of the entire business, with the husband claiming that he oversaw every single aspect of the video creation process. From writing the scripts for her to read off of, to selecting and editing the footage she would react to, and just generally maintaining the channel and actually uploading the videos. Pretty much all of SSSniperWolf's success can be attributed to this one guy who also happened to be her lover. And they had their ups and downs since the beginning of the operation in 2013, like just healthy relationship stuff like domestic violence disputes and whatnot. But things really took a turn for the worst when those disputes became about business and who has the rightful ownership of it. In December of last year, they got in this nasty divorce. So nasty. And there's a lot of contention about the 50-50 partnership they originally agreed upon, and there's so much animosity between this woman and her manager. Apparently, she was stealing this poor man's hard drives and phones from his own home, which he retaliated by locking her out of the SSSniperWolf channel in order to coerce her to give them back. Just despicable. And she was also a treacherous business partner, where she would take sponsorships and deals from other companies like G Fuel without his knowledge or permission, and she kept all the money for herself. And she was also supposedly opening up other YouTube channels without his permission or knowledge as well. The culmination of all this hostility led to not just the end of their marriage, but of their business partnership as well, with the absence of her manager and lover having a measurable impact on the success of her channel as seen on Social Blade, with her subs and views literally being halved since the end of his managerial position. It turns out that she couldn't maintain the business by just acting as eye candy for her audience of prepubescent iPad children. The husband actually was offering something of value to the table and was basically carrying the entire channel the whole time. And in combination with the sudden decrease in viewership and relevancy, she was also under attack from Jax Films, and by extension his sector of the community, which also wasn't helping her situation at all. Pretty much the entire purpose of Jax Films' second channel was to steal all of her content and give the exact same special ed retard brain damage Down syndrome commentary that she was, to not only give her a third-person perspective on how non-transformative and dog her content was, but to also siphon off all the views and revenue that would have otherwise gone to her as a form of justice for the original creators.
And I would like to credit wow_perfect idea for this cool TikTok.
Instead of attributing the failure of her business to her own faults and actions, she instead puts all the blame on Jax Films, and takes it out on him by threatening and doxing him and his wife to her millions of fans for no reason.
I take it too far all the time, if you know what I mean.
She's your house right now, Jack.
Shut up.
She's
You want to get a
literally
knock on
outside
your
your
door?
Oh my god, she
Yeah.
is. She's outside our house.
Out of all the ways you could react to internet criticism and deal with a dying business, this has to be the absolute worst option you could possibly choose from. This is like the option you select to get the bad ending in an RPG. I don't really understand your strategy here. Her channel may have been going downhill, but at the end of the day, the views she was still getting and the revenue she was still earning was still more than the majority of people will ever see in their lifetime on this platform. And doing this did nothing but make the condition of her brand downright irreparable. She had absolutely everything to lose here. She could have just come out from the jump and fully accepted that her content takes absolutely no effort to make and that she's a shameless content thief, and everyone on the internet would have stayed quiet. Because it makes it a lot harder to clown on someone who's not only making more money than you'll ever see in your life with way less effort, but is also open and shameless about it too. Instead, she had to be an insecure, narcissist, psycho freak and throw that all away for nothing. The kicker is that she actually claims that Jax Films was the one harassing her all along by making fun of her online. And she asks her audience if she should be the one to get a restraining order on him. Like she wasn't the one to drive hundreds of miles to his house just to dox him.
This guy's entire channel is just me. Every single video for the past few months has been about me. And it's just like on me. And then his streams. This dude is just like low-key harassing me. Like, should I get a restraining order?
The worst part is that by YouTube's definition, what Jax Films was doing technically is considered harassment. Just look at the Leafy situation back in 2020. Leafy made multiple videos about Pokimane back then, criticizing her for her mediocre, cancerous reaction content and how she was filing false copyright strikes, and made a few harmless jokes about her audience being comprised of a bunch of retarded simps. And YouTube just terminated him with absolutely no warning and no priors.
Did YouTube tell you what 3 videos caused your channel to go down?
YouTube sent nothing. I went through all my emails.
Did you have any strikes prior to your channel being terminated?
No, I had one, I think, warning, but I had no strikes besides that.
And arguably, what Jax Films did was way worse than Leafy, since he has made way more videos about SSSniperWolf in comparison. And YouTube's officials made it clear that even if your criticisms can't technically be considered bullying, just the action of publishing multiple videos about said creator can be considered bullying, thus violation of TOS. As a matter of fact, most of Leafy's videos that featured Pokimane in the title and thumbnail had absolutely nothing to do with her. They were just clickbait. But his channel still got put in front of the YouTube firing squad. With this in mind, I really wouldn't be surprised if YouTube took disciplinary action against Jax Films instead for violation of TOS via bullying and harassment. In fact, countless massive creators have tried to contact YouTube through social media, asking if they're going to take any action against SSSniperWolf for literally committing a crime by legally harassing Jax Films, to which they refuse to respond or address the situation whatsoever. One nigga tried to be more subversive about it and asked Team YouTube if doxing was warrant for termination in general without bringing up SSSniperWolf's name at all, to which they agreed that it was. She has yet to apologize or even recognize any wrongdoing whatsoever. Up to this point, it seems like she's completely gotten away with publicly committing a crime scot-free. In fact, she's only been making fun of the entire situation by posting quirky woman selfies on her Instagram and making little jokes about it as her captions. And I think she's well aware that YouTube isn't going to punish her in any way, because just like Pokimane, she is also a high-class female creator, which YouTube tends to be very protective of. YouTube has had a history of promoting her on their social media multiple times, and taking an axe to one of the largest female content creators, who's been in Kids' Choice Awards and Daraman videos, wouldn't be very good optics for them or their social credit ESG BlackRock score. One YouTuber by the name of Wavy Websurf actually made the same exact comparison by pointing out the unfair preference that YouTube has towards female content creators like Pokimane and SSSniperWolf, and this did not make the Twitch queen very happy. When you look back at the Boogie2988 incident, the double standard becomes a lot more apparent when you realize that the person who showed up to his house to harass him legally Frank Hassel, was deplatformed off of YouTube right afterwards. This on Twitter said that his tweet had absolutely nothing to do with the fact that women in particular get special treatment, but to me it has everything to do with the fact that they're women. Why else would they get special treatment? I don't know why myself or anyone else would want to dance around this irrefutable fact. Anyways, like and subscribe, join button, Discord, you know how it is. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.